Looking back at my preliminary task, I've come a long way. When I created my first magazine, I had never used Photoshop before, so it was a new software for me, therefore my skills were limited, and that meant that my magazine came out not to my standard, or not to a high standard. It didn't look very professional, but it was just a rough sketch. So the progression from my first magazine to my second magazine, I've become more comfortable with using Photoshop. I've worked on my Photoshop skills. Comparing them both, I can already see that there's a lot less dead space on my second magazine than my first one. My first one, I didn't have too many cover lines, there wasn't a lot going on, it was very bare and plain, it's very basic. But my finished magazine has much bigger, bolder writing, much more vibrant colours. It's got a very clear colour scheme. And one thing that I didn't have on my first magazine that I have on my finished magazine is a main cover line. I did not have that on my first magazine, which the main cover line could be a story or the name of the artist. I chose to make mine the name of the artist. So that's also there. I've also improved the structure and layout of my magazine. On the first magazine, all my cover lines were on one side of the page and they weren't in line. But to prevent that from happening with my second magazine, I used a ruler or grids. I ensured that I used those so that it came out, so that my newest magazine would come out looking neat and tidy and everything aligned, and just making it look overall more professional. So less dead space on my newest magazine, more cover lines. For my main image, I took a picture of an artist, and I took lighting and mise-en-scène into consideration. So I thought about how I wanted the lighting to look, and I took the picture in a way that would have a highlight on the artist's face and then a shadow in the back, which I didn't have with my first magazine, because on my prelim, that picture was taken with an iPhone. So for one, the quality would have been different. So in my newest magazine, the quality already is a lot better, the lighting's better. Mise-en-scène, he's wearing a cap, a black cap which is turned backwards, it's facing the back. He's got a black jumper on and diamond earrings, which I had done to further represent my genre, which is hip hop. As for my colours, I chose black, white, a beigey, my own beige colour that I created using the colour wheel. I chose quite dark colours to represent that it's a hip hop R&B magazine. Whereas in my first magazine, I used pink, white, yellow, blue, a lot of colours that didn't really work together. So definitely through creating my new magazine, I've learned how to kind of make colours work together, and I've learned how to choose a selection of colours that work well and look professional and represent my ideas. So I've learnt how to grab the reader's attention a little bit more. By comparing my two magazines, I can see that the masthead is a lot better, I've definitely improved it. I've made the letters a lot bigger, a lot bolder, used a bolder text, I've put them in white, whereas in my prelim front cover task, the masthead was in pink, which wasn't very effective. So in my new magazine, I made sure that it was white, and it's got a drop shadow, just a slight drop shadow to make it stand out more, which is also effective because that makes it jump out at the reader.